Hi. Good evening, all of you. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, all of you.
Good evening, ma'am.
There are 4 students at the moment. So may I know whether there are more students to come? I mean, in your batch, this is the first day. I'm working with y'all, right, of this new module. So I don't have an idea regarding the number of students, or do I have to wait some more time until students come? What about that? How many students are there in our batch? Uh, no idea. Students are coming, still coming, right? Gaini Kaushalya. The name is very familiar to me. I don't know whether you are the students whom I know. May not be, right?
No,
Gaini?
madam.
No, right. Okay. I have had a student with the same name, so I was wondering whether it was you, right?
No,
And
madam. I haven't met you.
okay, okay, fine, right. Well, now can I know whether I should wait at least 1 or 2 minutes more?
On other days, ma'am, there are about 20, 30 students.
20, around 20.
Yes, madam.
Uh-huh. Okay, then yeah, we'll wait 1 or 2 minutes since this is the first day. Okay, I
Okay.
know the recording will go to the students, but still I just want to wait and see how many students might come. Okay. Well, I will just give you 2-3 minutes maximum. Right after that,
Okay,
we'll start the discussion. Right.
okay, ma'am. Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Madam, is this lecture for TESL students or B.Ed students?
B.Ed. As far as I know, that's B.Ed, for B.Ed.
Okay, thank you, madam.
All right. Well, so those who may come, let them come. And let's start our work because we have only 2 hours today session. Every session has anyway 2 hours now. So we don't have to waste time as the recording is also going to the students. But the thing is this, I'm always telling during my online lectures actually, right? I'm doing lectures in many institutes and not only in APEC. So I usually conduct lectures online like this. And in every session, I am emphasizing the fact that, okay, because now this is the thing, mostly in higher education, students think that they can just view the or listen to the recording. They can watch the video of the lectures and they don't have to come to the lectures. They don't have to log into the meetings. They can just go through the video and that will be enough for them to successfully face the evaluations, papers or assignments or whatever. Now that is the impression most of the students have. Most of them are under that impression. But the thing is this, right? We are conducting lectures online because of so many reasons. The main reason is that we are not in a position to physically conduct lectures because there are so many students from so many different areas, far away areas. So it's quite easy to have lectures online like this rather than face-to-face sessions. And that is the only difference, right? That is the only difference. Usually you can see the lecturer. Now in this case, you can see, all of you can see me, although I don't see you, right? That is the only difference. Physically, we are not together. Okay. Other than that factor, everything else should be the same, just like to the physical classroom. Okay. Just like in the physical classroom, we have to have interaction. Okay, we have to have interaction, communication, and while the discussions are going on, everybody can contribute to these discussions, and that is what you mean by learning something. Active learning, okay? At the very first date, I just thought of mm, like talking about these things because in every session, I will not be repeating these things. Okay, I mean, no point wasting time. But the first session, I wanted to make these things clear to you, right? So therefore, attend the lectures, log into the meetings on time. That is very much important. Come to the lectures on time and be an active learner, active listener as well as active learner. Then you don't have to try hard to allocate time and study a lot because you are there in the lecture listening actively, and whenever you have a question or anything, you can just stop me and ask or get it clarified or verified. So like that, be an active learner. That is the thing. And if you do so, of course, you don't have to, as I told you, you don't have to have an effort to study, to read these lines and study these things, okay? Because already these facts have gone to your mind. When you have the papers, it is just a matter of refreshing your knowledge, refreshing your memory. That's all. Don't have to learn anything from the beginning. And if you just copy from somewhere and write your answer, or if you just reproduce the given note, itself during your examinations, that can be easily detected. Okay, and higher education is not that. You already know about it now. Higher education is not that. You need to add something from you also. So there are things like that. So hope you understand what I mean. And this is not your very first lecture. No? You must have covered some more modules earlier. but this is the first time I'm working with you all, so I should tell you, this is how I work, okay? I may be asking questions, and maybe in the sense I am asking questions, expecting answers from you all. And if at the same time, I expect that you would talk. If you don't get anything, or if there are gray areas like that, so just take this natural, okay? There are no passive people here, right? Take this normal lecture, just like a physical lecture, only difference, as I told you, I can't see you, that's it. But you people can see me. And sometimes I might vanish from the screen then and there, but I am here, okay? Right, well, so without talking a lot, I would like to start our discussion. But before that, may I know, now this linguistic structure of modern English, that is the name of the module I'm going to handle with you. I will give you the module details once I share my screen. But before that, can I know whether there are like any student who is teaching or employed as a teacher, teaching English or any other subject? Are there students who are teachers here in this batch? Just for my knowledge, I'm asking. Yes or no? You just raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand, then I can simply get to know. No, no one.
Yes,
There are.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Okay. Two students are there who are teachers. That's all. Now, the thing is, you don't have to be teachers, right, to follow this module. But certain things, when we discuss, if you are teaching or if you are a teacher, you might quickly catch. And certain things may be directly relevant to your profession, your career as a teacher. Then it's easy for you to comprehend the certain factors, but it's not compulsory, right? I was just asking from you all. Well, I like if you can come up with your name, of course. Some of you don't have uh, the participant name. You just put your first name, then it's quite easy for me as well as for the others to have discussion, easily know you. Okay, right. Then I will, the other thing, uh, what about the notes? Notes in the sense, okay, I will go to the screen, then you will understand what I'm going to tell you. Okay, right. Now you can see my screen. Can you?
Yes, madam.
Right.
Yes, madam.
Well, so now this is, as you can see, the linguistic structure of modern English. This is our module. Okay, right? And if I just tell you something about myself here, down here, my name is there. And I'm Sujani Balsurya, working as a senior lecturer in SLIAT. Okay. And apart, that is my permanent employment. And other than that, I conduct lectures in the local and foreign universities on visiting basis, including APEX, right? Well, I think that's enough about myself. May I know whether there are students among you who have done HNDE in SLIAC? Anybody?
Yes, madam.
Uh-huh. Which ATI? That is
Badul
Assam.
ATI, madam.
Badul. So you are joining from Badul?
Yes, madam. I'm from Badul.
Okay, right. Well, then that's all. The others have not no idea about HND. Okay, fine. Never mind. Okay, because if you have done HND, certain areas are there that are relevant from to what you have covered in HND. Certain subjects, certain areas you can find here as well. Because language, when we talk about language, is language. No, we can't change the properties of language. Whatever course we follow, whatever module we do. Okay, right. Never mind. You don't have to follow HND, of course. It's not compulsory here for you to understand these things. Well, now let's start our work then. Well, I had this question in my mind, right? Okay, I will show you the module contents. In this module, Linguistic Structure of Modern English, there are 5 major areas to be discussed, right? The nature of language and linguistics, that's the first area. Then consonants and vowels. Third area, phonology, phonotactics, and suprasegmentals. Fourth area, the internal structure of words and processes of word formation. And the fifth area, grammatical categories and word classes, right? And each area will be discussed with taking 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours, which means total 20 hours. Around 20 hours we have to cover these topics. 20 hours means, total 20 hours means 10 sessions. Okay, we will go for 10 sessions to complete this module, right? Okay, now my question is this. There are notes. Now I will end the show. Now you can see here. I have prepared the slides. And do you have a plan how to get these notes? Because the thing is, whenever I share my screen and when I am explaining and dealing with the facts in the slide, if you start writing, that is nonsense, right? I mean, writing is not the main thing. We should be done at this level. Okay, so do you have any plan to get the notes? If you have any
If you
idea,
share,
yeah,
madam, if you can share your PPT to us, we can get the printout
sure, yeah.
in the chat.
Uh-huh. Okay, right. That's fine. The thing is, Mahishi, it's good if you can get the notes beforehand. I mean, before the lecture, don't you think so? Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
madam, that's
when you get it during the lecture, you don't have time to at least go through and see what else is there.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, madam, it's
So
better.
better if you can get it before the lecture, and those who prefer hard copies, they might have enough time to get a printout. I don't know about that. That is your preference, right? Now, there are people who are feeling comfortable with hard copies, and there are people who are feeling comfortable with soft copies. So that is up to you to decide. But
Hard
what?
copy is better.
Yeah, whatever, you should have enough time, right? So that I can send the lecture material before the lecture. If I can do so, it is good. So do you have any plan for that?
It is fine, madam.
How can I
Now,
send you?
madam, next day lecture, if you give it to us today, then we can get the printouts and get ready.
Gayani, who is that? Mahishi? I don't know. Whoever said.
Yes, madam.
The thing is, I have the lecture materials, right? But the thing is, from year to year, from batch to batch, I update them. You know, because actually I usually do not use the old lecture materials, and I update them like soon before the lecture. I mean, soon before the lecture means if the lecture is tomorrow, not today, not like that, several or few days earlier, right? Then there will be a problem if whether I will get enough time to upload the next lecture material in the chat box. I might not have prepared. Okay, so may I know whether you all are in a group, a WhatsApp group, your
Yes,
batch?
madam. Yes.
Huh, right. So is there a leader or somebody like that?
Madam, our coordinator is there.
Who is coordinator?
Uh, I think Mr. Richard.
You mean the office, right? Yeah, yeah. Mr. Richard is there, I know. No, I just want to know whether there is a student who is like uh, not leader, right? But who is responsible in certain works like that. Not like that. Anybody like that in your batch?
No, madam.
No, madam, we don't have like that.
Hmm. The thing is this. if I send it to the office, what if you do not get the lecture note before the lecture by mistake or anything? If it gets delayed,
Normally we don't get, madam.
then normally you don't get.
Yes, madam.
So,
All the lectures are sending the notes when they are doing the lecture.
yeah,
They-
that's the thing. So then, shall I suggest something like this? If it is all right, you can do it. I will send the lecture material to one of you, right? To one of you. So, only thing is you can just share it in your group. How is it?
Okay, madam.
Okay, madam, that's better.
Because you all are there in one group, no? When I
Yes,
send
madam.
the lecture material to one student, then she or he, I don't know, he's there, right? Anyway, no male student, right? Yeah. Then she can share it in the batch, in the WhatsApp group. Is it all right? Then can I have the number, the WhatsApp number and the name of any student? I mean, whoever, I don't know, right? Anybody who is, who can get that responsibility? Can I know the details? By the way, you can just send it to the chat, right? Name and WhatsApp number. The thing is this, I don't actually want to join your WhatsApp group. Earlier I had done so, but the thing is now so many groups, right? I'm in so many students group also. It's really messy. And I don't want to get unwanted or not necessarily, not irrelevant messages so often. Okay, because of that factor, I don't want to join your group. I can send the lecture material to one of the students, right? So you just think who would like to give me the WhatsApp number. I will definitely send the lecture material few days before the lecture, right? And talking, please send me the
Okay,
name
madam. I'll send my number.
Maheshi, right? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Maheshi, well, just wait. Here is my, you can see the screen now, okay? You can see my screen.
No.
You can't see. You all
Yes, madam,
can't
we can see it.
can see it? Right, okay.
Yes.
Now, this is my WhatsApp number. There are two numbers now. First number, which I have underlined here. Maheshi, could you please drop me a message, WhatsApp message, so that I can save your number. Okay, right? And talking about today's thing, well, I will send it to you. I think I have prepared a PDF. Just wait a minute, okay? I need to go back and check it. I will send it to the chat. Yeah. Give 1 second, please. It seems, okay, I can. Wait.
Number lecture කියන්න.
Could you please check now? Check your chat boxes. Did you receive the note? Hello. Please check whether you received the note now, PDF.
Yes, madam, we got it.
Okay, right, fine. So that will cover several sessions, okay? Not only today's lecture. I have given you the first topic, the lecture material that is relevant to the first topic. Anyway, Maheshi, in that lecture, you can see my number, right? The first
Yes,
number. So you send me a message and I will send you the lecture materials relevant to the other topics. This is only the first topic now. Right.
okay.
All right. Well, then we'll start the work. Now, okay, Maheshi, thanks for your message. Okay. In future, I will send the lecture materials to this number then, okay? Right. Well, now as I showed you, these are the topics then. I know that you don't have time, enough time to get the printouts, but I hope you can manage with the soft copy of the first topic. Okay. Please, yeah, those who are not talking, those who do not want to talk, just switch off your mics. Otherwise, the sounds might echo. Right. Now we are going to start with the first topic, the nature of language and linguistics. Okay. Before I start with that, just to give you an idea about the nature of the whole module and the topics. Just have a look at these topics. In this module, we are going to basically deal with the language. Actually, deal with language. We don't have to use the definite article there because I'm not going to talk about any particular language. Okay, language in common, but when we draw examples, mostly we will consider the English language. Okay, but that doesn't mean you should restrict yourselves to talk about the nature of the English language only. It's not like that. You understand the nature of language as a whole, in common or in general. Okay, there in that discussion, we are going to first talk about nature. Nature, what do you mean by language? What do you mean by linguistic, right? Okay, so I will give you the breakdowns of the first topic soon after this. And the second topic deals with consonants and vowels, in the sense phonetics. Okay, they are in detail, you will be discussing about the production of these two different sound units. And then the third topic, phonology, phonotactics, and suprasegments. In the second area, we are going to talk about phonetics. And the third area, phonology. And in phonology, with phonology, of course, usually we associate phonotactics and suprasegmentals also. That is why all the three topics, subtopics are coming together in the same lesson. Okay, right? And after that, fourth area, the internal structure of words and processes of word formation. In one word, we are going to talk about morphology there. Okay, morphology. And the fifth area, grammatical categories and word classes. In one word, actually, that is syntactic, the syntax. Still, these words may not be familiar to you. Anyway, we are going to be familiarized with these topics and know what these things, what sort of areas these are, right? We are going to discuss all these things. So just the nature. Nature in the sense, what we are going to touch. And of course, touching, discussing detail. So when you look at the module contents, you should understand it's a sort of balanced discussion. One is missing actually the meaning aspect, semantic aspect, but we can't include everything because the time is limited, and this would do. Okay, this content would be enough for you to successfully complete the module on linguistic structure of modern English, right? So we are going to talk about language in common, sounds aspect, word aspect, and then sentence aspect, the grammatical formation of sentences. These are the main areas we are going to cover. All right, then when we talk about the first topic, that is the nature of language and linguistics. Here also, we are going to have a discussion on three major areas, right? Three major areas. First area is allocated for the discussion on the nature of human language, right? And second major area, the nature of grammar. We are going to talk about grammar. And third area, linguistics and the components of language. Okay, compared to the first two areas, the third area is not very detailed, but it covers a wide scope. But during the discussions, I am not going to take a lengthy time, right? Not that much of a long time. Well, this is what we are going to discuss. And I will not finish all these topics today itself. Okay, which means when now we are going to meet during the next weekend also. So these topics will continue to the next sessions as well. So you have enough time. If you prefer hard copies, you have enough time to get printouts and be ready. Okay, right. Now let's start our discussion then. Before that, I have another thing to tell you, right? Still, I am new to you all and you're also new to me. Normally, I send you the lecture notes, no? Just like I sent you the first topic, right? I will be definitely sending the next lecture materials of the next topics also. But as an advice, I'm telling to you, don't be happy with the lecture materials I'm sending. Okay? Just thinking that, okay, we have got the lecture material and then that's enough. Just studying that lecture material is enough to write the answers for the papers. Don't think like that. Okay, don't think like that. These lecture materials contain the rough guideline only. Okay, the basic facts only for you to understand the given topic. The basically required facts only. Don't ever think that only by reading these sentences or only by reading these text, these notes, you can get a very vast understanding on the topics you are dealing with. Never. Right? It's not like that. So one thing is this, during the lectures, during the discussion, sometimes I am discussing or I am telling things that are not available in the lecture material also. So in such situations, if you think that it's good to have them, or later on you might forget, you are totally free to add them to your note. I'm telling this to every batch I'm meeting anyway, right? Because that is my way. Although I'm giving you the lecture notes beforehand, before the lecture, you have to update it during the lecture. Don't leave the lecture after 2 hours with the same note you started the lecture with. I hope you can understand what I'm telling here. Okay. So make it your own. You can make additions, no deletions anyway, right? You can add whatever the things, maybe new extra facts, supportive facts, examples. There may be a lot of things for you to add. So that later on, when you read your note, it will be really easy for you to understand what you have understood during the lecture. Okay, right. That is number one. And number two, do some further references because this is higher education level. Okay, this is higher education level. Find your time, find your free time allocated for your studies. And from that time, allocate some time for this module also. And Google. Okay, nowadays, no one goes to the libraries, no, right? So you all have the phones, smartphones or laptop or whatever, right? Google the facts. Just find out what are the fundamental beliefs about language. For example, here the first topic. I am going to talk about the fundamental beliefs about language, but you also search and get to know some more ideas, right? you will get a lot of information to supplement what I have discussed during the lecture. If you read more, you will know more, you will retain more. Okay? If you do not read, you will know only the note, which is not sufficient for you to form a good answer. And remember, the other thing is when you write answers in your exams, always show that you have done something on your own. Okay, you have done something means you have found some more information, some more facts related to the given topic or question. Show it. That is the way, of course, we in the sense the students should learn at the higher education level. Okay, so hope you follow what I am telling. So don't be happy with the note I'm sending to you. That is the main thing. And at the same time, follow my number 1 and number 2. What I said in number 1 and number 2 there. Okay, right. Well, hope you would remember this throughout the sessions, because I am not telling these things every day. Okay, this first day I'm meeting you, that is why I just wanted to share these ideas with you all right. Well, then we'll start the work with the first subtopic. Now this is about the nature of language and linguistics, and they are the nature of human language. Okay, nature of human language, and there's a reason why we call human language, because the word language can be used to talk about the languages used by the human beings as well as the different communication systems used by the animals also. Now you must have heard animal language. Have you heard animal language? People are using that term, the term like that, versus human language. But here these in this part we are going to talk about the nature of human language, and later on we are going to deal with animal communication systems also. In 1.5 we have it, right? But before that we'll think about the fundamental beliefs about language. Yeah, I can say most of the notes are in point form. Okay, they are not detailed. During the discussion, I detail them. I explain them. Okay, so when and where necessary, you can make extra notes. You can do it very easily if you have the hard copies. But at the moment, you don't have a hard copy. You can just hope you would manage only for today. Right? Okay, fundamental beliefs. When we talk about language, right? Now, everyone of us knows about language, because without language, we can't live. Right? Is it a basic need or secondary need? What do you think? Language? During O levels, I think in health science, basic needs and secondary needs, there is a lesson on that, but I can't remember what exactly was there. What do you think about language? It's a basic need or secondary need? Any idea? I don't want you to refer that health science book. Just any idea? Basic needs means like food. Okay, without food we can't live. No?
It's a basic.
Language, basic.
Second,
I can't exactly remember anyway. That is why I was just asking. Basic or secondary anyway. Whatever is, right? Without language, we can't. We can live, but not in this modern society. Then we have to go to a forest, right? That's the thing. So there is no mistake if we say without language, we can't live, right? It is
We
that
can't
much,
communicate.
yeah, it is that much essential. Then what do you think some people are believing about this language thing? The thing which is called language. Right? Now we use language, that's right. But usually we don't think about language, no? What are the properties or characteristics of language? What happens in language? What are the components of language? These things we never ever worry. Why is that? Because We use language as a method of communication, right? As long as any language is capable of fulfilling that target, then that is all right now. Why should we bother? Okay, what are the characteristics of language and how does it function, the internal mechanism, whoever, right? Who cares? That is there, right? People don't too much bother about the internal mechanism of language, but due to the education purpose, we have to think of language. Due to the education purpose, we have to think of language, right? So that is what we are doing now. Then in our discussion, we first have this question. What are the fundamental beliefs? What do people in the world think about this language thing? Whenever we have to think of language, normally we don't, but whenever we have to think of language, these are some of the beliefs people bear. Sometimes you too might have these beliefs in you. You just go through and check. Now you can refer to my screen, okay, because I'm showing you the slides. See, equating language with writing. That means some people think, okay, language means writing. The writing component should be there for us to call anything as a language. If writing is not there, if we can't write using any particular language, we means some people, right? They believe that is not a language. The writing should be there. Writing means actually what? Letters. We write letters, words, sentences, so on. No? Okay, right. So you might have some ideas about the characteristics of language. Here we don't have a separate topic to talk about the characteristics. Therefore, I will just refer to that then and there, right? When we talk about any language, there are symbols. I'm explaining this first belief, right? There are symbols that are of two types. Can any one of you guess? Two types of symbols are there in any language, whatever the language is. Can any one of you guess? Asana? Asana, your words not clear. I don't hear, of course. No, dear, you better check your internet connection. Earlier, I heard you very clearly, but not now. Okay, others? Any idea about the two types of symbols? One type of symbol is oral symbols.
Oral
And
and written symbols, madam.
right, correct. Thanks. That is what I was going to write. I can't write it very beautifully, okay? Right. Oral symbols and written symbols. Oral symbols means sounds. And written symbols means basically letters. Okay, right. And from these two types of symbols, primarily we consider oral symbols because usually in linguistics, right, okay. I have another question now. Can I know whether you are familiar with linguistics, the word linguistics? Asana, I know about you, okay, since you have done HND, right, I know what you know. And what about the others? Anybody who is familiar with the word linguistics? If it is familiar, just tell me yes. Or if it's not familiar, say no. One word question. That's yes, no question. There can't be silence. Are you familiar with linguistics? That's my question. I don't hear anything. Because I can cater to your level if I know about that. Now people are not talking, no? Why the students are not there in the meeting? Do you know what linguistics is? Okay. May I know whether there are students, any student in the meeting?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Yes. Answer to my question? Yes or no? About linguistics?
Yes, madam.
Yes. Okay. Right. Others? Mahish, what about you?
Yes, we are familiar with the word, madam.
Familiar with the word. All right. And
It's a human language, madam.
you mean linguistics? No. I will talk about.
Linguistics means, ma'am,
The
scientific study of language.
structure we use.
Okay, Shani, you are correct. Mahesh, you are trying. Good. Okay. Well, what about the others? You have some sort of idea. That's what I wanted to check, right? Other silent people, I don't know what they know actually. Right. Well, so we'll come back to our discussion. I was talking about this, no, right? Now, if you just think about the module overall, linguistic structure of modern English, right? That is the module name. There itself, we have the term linguistic. Okay, linguistic structure, there, of course, we simply mean language structure, the structure of the language in modern English. Okay, right? Structure of language. But linguistic has a different idea there. Technically, it has a definition. The scientific, as Shani said, right? Shani also said it very correctly. Scientific and systematic study of language. That is what we mean by linguistics. And there are so many ways of studying language. At this point, I'm not going to discuss that far. Okay. There are so many ways like studying language in relation to society, in relation to different geographical regions, and studying the history and origin of language, right? And studying languages by comparing them, two languages or more than two languages, comparing, right? And studying the relationship between language and mind, the human mind, and studying the structure of language, and also studying how language can be applied to our day-to-day works. Like that, there are so many ways of studying language. And these different ways have actually particular names, and that's what we identify as branches of linguistic: historical linguistics, social linguistics, psycholinguistics, structural linguistics, applied linguistics, comparative linguistics, neurolinguistics. Neurolinguistics means studying the relationship between language and neurons in the brain, which means the connection between language and the brain. Okay? ETC. These are the main branches of linguistics. So linguistics means studying language. In short, the idea is studying language. So when we study language, there is one branch called structural linguistics, I told you. Structural linguistics means studying the structure of language. And that is what we are going to discuss here in the third topic, right? I will talk about it in detail there under components, linguistics and the components of language. But here, when we talk about the nature of language, we have to know something about the characteristics. Characteristics, or we call them properties of language, which in a way deals with this structure of the language. Okay, right? So when we look at the structure of language, you know, there are several different components there, out of which one component, sound, right? So basically we consider language to be having sounds. That is the primary property. Whatever language we take into consideration, or whatever language in this world we take to study, basically we do it or we study the spoken aspect. Okay, we give priority to talk about the spoken aspect of language than the written aspect, because written aspect has come quite late on. When you just think about the history also, in the past history, originally languages were used in the spoken medium, and written medium came quite later with the invention of printing press, and when the people were trying to record what they want in writing, right? It's quite later. Primary thing is spoken aspect. Well, accordingly, we have these two types of symbols, oral symbols and written symbols. So oral symbols means these sounds, and written symbols are letters. Okay, right. Then if we think about this first fundamental belief, equating language with writing means some people are under the impression that language means there should be letters or words. Normally we can't pronounce letters, right? Letters are meant to be written. So people think there are letters. Otherwise it is not a language. In other words, there can't be oral only, right? Oral symbols only existing. That is a kind of misbelief, right? It's a kind of misbelief, but people do so. Hope you could get some idea about this, right? Equating language with writing only, not associating language with oral aspect. Right. Another belief that there is a connection between a word and the thing it names. Connection, I want you to get the idea of this line. Connection between a word and the thing it means or it names. It's like, what do you think about this? Word means, right, what can I draw very easily? Right, I am not a good artist. Well, but at least I think you can know what I am trying to draw here. Okay. What is this? Hello?
Tree.
This is a tree, right? Here I have used written symbols to write the name of this object. Tree, okay, written symbol. And when I pronounce it, oral symbols, tree. They are oral symbols. So either written or oral symbols can be used to name this object, right? Okay, now there's a question. I have a question for you. Is there a connection between the word means this symbol, either written or spoken symbol, and the thing it names? Thing means this object. Is there a connection? Can you think of giving me an answer? That is a yes, no question. So you can either say yes or no. Never mind, the other questions will follow that. But initially you can just think yes or no. Is there a connection between the word and the object it represents or it names? What do you think? Any idea? If you do not want to contribute to the discussions, never mind, I can just continue my discussion. Just let me know whether you are not ready or ready to contribute to the discussions. If I get to know it very clearly, then I can continue accordingly. Otherwise, I am waiting until you respond. You tell me your preference. Yeah. No response to that also. Well, okay, then I will continue. Then some people think that there is a connection. There is a connection between the word, that means the symbol, and the object it represents, so it names. In a way, this is correct. In a way, this is wrong. That is the point, okay? Because we need to be clear with the word connection. Connection, actually speaking, there is no logical connection between these two things. Between the symbol and the object, there is no logical connection. There's no one-to-one correspondence, right? Wherever you see a tree, you get the word, the tree to your mind or to your mouth, right? You might say, there's a tree. Whenever you see a tree. And also, whenever you see the word tree written somewhere, you visualize the object. That connection is there, but that connection is not logical. Okay, logical means there is no logical reason why you should call this object tree. Why can't you use another word to call it, except for the word tree? Why can't you? That question is there, right? So this relationship now in the tree, in the trunk or leaves or anywhere, or in the branches, anywhere, you don't have the word tree embossed, nothing like that. So there is no logical connection. And when you talk about the characteristics of language, you have a particular word to indicate that. That is called arbitrariness, right? Arbitrary nature of language. I will write it here. Arbitrariness or arbitrary nature, which means there is no logical connection between the word and the object it represents, right? But the thing is, although there is no logical connection, but can we change the word tree into another word to indicate the same object? Can I start using another word to represent or to mean this object? I can do so, but the others will not understand me. Right? I can't change it all by myself. It will take a long time then if you want to go for a change, which means there is a connection. There is a connection between the word and the object that is decided by convention. Right? Convention. From generation to generation, people are using the word tree to indicate this object. As our parents were using it like that, we are using now. And as we are using it like that, our children will use. So it goes from generation to generation. So that is another characteristic of language. Language is by convention. Okay, right. So in that sense, the fundamental belief is there that there is a connection between word and thing it names. So partly this is correct and partly this is wrong. So you need to understand why this statement is, this belief is correct or wrong. That is what I was explaining. Right. Okay. And there's another belief. A foreign language is somehow perverse and idiotic, while our own language is natural and sensible. This is quite very much subjective belief. Subjective belief in the sense some people think that their own mother tongue, their own native language is the most natural and sensible language they can use to express their feelings. Whereas the other languages, foreign languages, maybe second language or foreign language, they are not that much okay for them. Right? The people believe the other languages are not suitable. Suitable in the sense they don't feel comfortable with the other languages. They feel comfortable with their own languages. So they think other languages are like awkward. They don't make much sense, right? Like foolish type of things. Some people believe like that. Okay, I feel like asking so many questions, but the point is you are not answering, right? Otherwise, I have another question like this. Which language do you use when you want to blame someone? Now, blaming doesn't, I mean, you don't plan mostly, you feel angry, right? You feel angry, all of a sudden, then you just blame. Imagine your mother tongue is Sinhala and your second language is English. Which language comes to your mouth? Anybody else who would like
Our
to answer?
mother tongue, madam.
Yes, exactly. Why?
We are very comfortable with that.
We are feeling very much comfortable with our mother tongue, not only to blame, right? Even to express our inner feelings. Whatever thing, in the case of expressing, we feel always comfortable with our mother tongue. So under that impression, people have this belief. Our own language is natural, sensible, very good, whereas the other languages are not like that. No, we can't say so, right? So these beliefs are, I am not telling correct. Some beliefs are misbeliefs, especially this first one and the last one. And the second belief here, partly only correct, right? But still people around the globe are under this sort of impressions about language they use. Okay, right. So be familiar with what people think about language. All right, I will clear the word. And there are some functions of language. Yeah. What do we do by using language? That's the idea here, right? What do we get done by using language? Now, as a whole, we say language is a method of communication. That's right. When we say language functions as a method of communication, of course, it covers a very wide area because we can communicate a lot of things. Okay, now we'll have a look at this. It gives expression to our thoughts. Yeah, language gives expression. Whatever kind of thoughts. It can be even feelings, emotions. We use language as a medium of expressing our inner feelings, right? Okay, when you feel sad, first thing would be crying, of course. And the next thing would be you want to share your sadness with somebody else, right? So you have to use language. You use language. Sometimes people use language to cry also. I don't know how far that is relevant to you, applicable. Some people, they cry telling certain things, right? Yeah, language gives expression to the thoughts and language is used to transmit information. Transmission of information, that is known as communicative function, right? Sannivedana, communicative function. Now here, what do I use language for, as you think? Do I express my thoughts, inner feelings? Or am I using language, if you just think about the third point here, maintain social intercourse? Or do I produce any creative writing here? What do you think? It is the second purpose. I here use language to transmit information, right? Transmission of information from sender to receiver. We usually call communicative function with that idea, right? And then language is used to maintain social intercourse, right? Maintain social intercourse, right? Your social relationships with the others. To maintain your relationships with the others, you use language. Usually, like, what do you think? How does that happen? Because don't think that all the time we use language to communicate. Communicate means transmit information. No, right? When you meet your friend, any friend in the morning, what do you say? Good morning. You greet the person, no? Right? Good morning. Sometimes good is missing. You just say morning also. Do you really wish your friend a very good morning? There? How do you think? Do you have that honest need to wish your friend a very good morning. No, you just say good morning because you want to maintain, right, your friendly relationship with the person. That is why we use greetings and talk about weather. Another very good example, of course, because now, when two different sets of people meet or when two unknown people meet, okay, one common topic between these two unknown persons would be about weather. Do you agree with me? You can see this, right? When some people are visiting uh, places to see brides, I mean, this with matchmakers and all, right? Nowadays also people are visiting to see girls, no? People means boys. They are with all his relatives, including parents, right, and family members. All are going to see the girls, right? Two different people are meeting. That's a place where two different, right? The two sets of people from different backgrounds are meeting together. Haven't you seen in all these situations, people are talking about weather? Why is that? Are they really interested in raining or sunning and all these things? Do you think that's the reason? No. They just want to create a relationship and maintain a relationship with this new set of people, right? For that, they just talk about weather using language. Without using language, of course, they can't discuss anything. So maintaining social intercourse is also a very good function of language. Even without having any communicative purpose, people use language just to maintain social relationships, right? And there's another use, another function. Language provides the raw material for works of literature. Works of literature means creative writing, that is writing fictions, prose, verse, whatever kind of creative piece of work, we use language to create them. Okay, right. Functions are continuing. Other than that, language is used to get others to do things. Right, so which means we can use language in the imperative form. Imperative, command form, right? Answer to my question. That is an example for imperative form. I'm asking you to do something. And how can I do so? I have to use language. Go out, sit down, keep quiet. Likewise, all these are in the imperative form. So there are languages used for that purpose, to get the others, the listeners, do something. Other than that, language is used to express emotions, feelings, or make promises, to ask questions, to bring about states or affairs, states of affairs. Multiple number of purposes you can find here that are completed or fulfilled by using language. I don't think I should explain. You can get the idea there. And talk to oneself also. We use language to talk ourselves. Now, have you ever used language for this purpose? Talk to yourself? Have you? Have you seen people talking alone? Haven't you?
Yes,
Huh?
madam.
Do you do so? Like there are people who are talking along all along. You must have seen some people, in the sense, some students, they are studying, maybe self-studying, talking something, certain things loudly, but in that case, right, no one is there to listen to, right? Just loudly speaking. Okay. Even in dramas, you can find asides, like monologues. In all these situations, what is exactly happening? The person is talking to himself. There may be so many reasons for that, right? Anyway, so language is used for that purpose also. I mean, we can just think, no, but we use language and put that thought or these thoughts into words. That is what is happening in talking to oneself, right? And the other functions, meta-language. Meta-language means we use language to talk about language itself. Now, this exactly is an example for that. Now, during this session, what do we do actually? What am I doing with you all? I'm talking with you using language. And actually, what am I talking about? I'm talking about language. Using language. So that is called meta-language. Okay. So we can use language to talk about language itself. Language itself means we can talk about the properties of language, structure of language, how language functions, internal mechanisms, grammar of language, meanings, how meanings are expressed through language. Oh, there are a lot of things to talk about language. So we do all these things by using language. Without using language, I can't communicate these ideas with you all. Okay, right. So that is another use of language. So there are so many functions and uses, and there are many more that are not listed here even. I was choosing the basic functions and uses. All right. Well, hope you got some idea on the fundamental beliefs and functions of language from this brief discussion. And after that, we have a topic on linguistic science. Very important to talk about this, right? Here we talk about science. Linguistic science means science that are there in language, right? Yeah, when we talk about now, so far we are talking about human language. So we say human language consists of signs. There are so many signs. You know what do you mean by the word signs, right? Sign. In Sinhala, you have the word sanya, right? Sign. Sign is a thing that stands for or represents something else. It's like a symbol also. When we see a sign, it means something else, right? So that is a simple meaning of the word sign. Then linguistic signs. Linguistic signs are sequences of sounds which represent concrete objects and events as well as abstractions, right? When we talk about linguistic signs, it's like simply linguistic signs are sequences of sounds. That means combinations of several different sounds together. And these combinations of sounds can do a lot of things. They can either represent concrete objects like a cup, a bottle, a table, a house, right? They can represent any concrete object or event like, wedding, funeral, sports meet, party, function, as well as abstractions. Abstractions means concepts. Like what? There are so many, now you know about abstract nouns. You might have an idea about abstract nouns. They are the things that are not tangible, right? Intangible, like kindness, happiness, sadness, if you are particularly thinking about nouns, and kind, sad, honest, okay, good and bad. These are abstractions which do not have any physical existence, right? So these are represented, these different things are represented by linguistic science, okay, right? And then when we talk about the science, these three types are there, important to talk about. Iconic sounds, signs, indexical signs, and symbolic signs. You have I think, yeah, we have more examples coming in separately, but we'll look at these three here. Iconic sign, right? So be familiar with this. They resemble the things they represent. Iconic signs resemble the things they represent. Examples are there for you to understand this, right? Photographs, right? Now, when you look at a photograph of a person, what do you see? photograph itself represents something, right? Which you can see. It shows a figure of somebody which you can see on the spot. Photograph is something like that. And if you are looking at a photograph of a river, you can see the river there. Like that, diagrams, star charts, even some chemical models are examples. For iconic signs, they show the things they represent, right? Okay, and be familiar with that. And we'll go to the next one, indexical signs, which point to or have a necessary connection with the things they represent. Indexical signs, they indicate a kind of connection, right? They point out or they indicate or have a some necessary connection with the things they represent. Examples, smoke to fire, right? Smoke and fire, you can understand the connection between the two, and weather to the direction of the wind. So now always when you look at a weather, you know about weathercock, right? It always indicates where the wind is blowing, the direction of the wind. And a symptom to an illness. Okay, when you can talk about a particular symptom, definitely you know what the illness is. And a smile to happiness. When you see a person is smiling, you definitely know that person is feeling happy. At the same time, when you see somebody is frowning, you know that person is angry. Like that. Okay, you can understand a particular connection with something else. Indexical signs are like that. Right, and symbolic signs, they are only conventionally related to the things they represent. Right, conventionally. There are no logical relationships anyway. Okay, only by convention we relate the meanings, like flag to a nation. Whenever we see a flag, okay, we mean a nation behind that. And when you give a rose to somebody, what do you mean by that? You express your love to that person. Rose to love, especially red rose. And wedding ring represents the marriage. Okay, these are symbolic signs. I hope you got the difference among iconic, indexical, and symbolic signs. We have more examples coming in, right, to talk about iconic signs in language. Okay, I told you they resemble the natural sounds or natural image they represent. Photographs, charts, diagrams. Apart from those examples, here you can get onomatopoeic words also. Onomatopoeic words are very good examples for iconic signs, right? If you have familiarity with literature, these poetic devices, definitely you know about onomatopoeic words. They are the words that are pronounced as how they mean, right? Like bow wow, buzz, clap, tick tock. They are not talking about TikTok app, right? So all these words, when you listen to the pronunciations or listen to their sounds, you know the original sound also. Bow wow, what can bow wow be? Of course, when you hear the pronunciation of the word bow wow, what do you remember?
Sound of the dog.
Dog, exactly. Sound of a dog. Dog barking, something. And buzz means bees, right? Buzzing, bees sounds, the sounds produced by the bee. So when you hear the pronunciation of the onomatopoeic words, you can definitely relate it to the original sound or the meaning of the word. Right? That is the nature of iconic signs. And here, yeah, Susie went to New York, Montreal, and Toronto. Sybil became ill and left the party. She ate dinner, read the newspaper, and watched TV. Now, that is about word order. Now, this is another way iconic sounds are used in language. One way is onomatopoeic words. through the onomatopoeic words, and the other way word order. And we can see the word order here. There are three examples. Susie went to New York, Montreal, and Toronto. When you read this sentence, you can clearly understand where Susie went first, then where Susie went next and last. Because according to that visiting order, the words in the sentence are arranged. She first visited New York, so it comes first, and then Montreal, and last Toronto. Okay, and Sibyl became ill and left the party. Right, what happened first? You can't write it like Sibyl left the party and became ill. Normally, that is not practical. No, that's not possible. She became ill. That's the first thing. So it is mentioned first and left the party. According to the chronological order, the events are ordered here, word order. And she ate dinner, read the newspaper, watched TV. Again, according to the events are ordered according to the chronological order of happening. And similarly, in the sentence also, the words are arranged. Right? So word order of a sentence is another situation where we can find the iconic use of iconic signs in language. And the third one, iteration. Iteration means repetition. Now you can see the example more and more. Right? Car repairs became more and more expensive. Now, why can't I say car repairs became more expensive? Why should I repeat it? Do you have any idea for that? Why can't you simply say car repairs became more expensive without saying so? Yeah. Any idea why? Because if you just say only one more, then the listener or the reader will not get the impression that this happens gradually. To give that gradual sense, you have to repeat more and more expensive. Gradually, it became expensive. That happened through time. Okay, that is not a single event. It's a chain of events or chain of increasing the repair charges. That impression you can get only by repeating. So repetition or iteration is another situation where we use the iconic signs in language. Okay, right. And we have indexical signs, more examples for indexical signs in demonstrative pronouns, this or that. I hope you remember indexical signs. We indicate a direction, right? Direction or connection with the word and the object. So when I say this means these are demonstrative pronouns or demonstrative adjectives. So when I say this, definitely I mean something which is near me. And if I use the word that, definitely that is far away, not near me. Right. And adverbs now and then. Now means the present time. And then somewhat remote. Right. In Sinhala also we have the word evita. Right. Evita doesn't mean noun. Okay. Accordingly, we use these words. And examples for symbolic signs, more examples. Almost all signs in a language are symbolic. Okay, we have all the three types of signs, iconic, indexical, and symbolic. But symbolic signs are more than the other two, right? Which means they don't mean exactly what they superficially show or mean. Behind the signs or behind the words, there are some other meanings. Okay, right. Then when we talk about symbolic signs, this fact is very much important for you to know when you talk about the properties of language. The earlier I mentioned this point, right? The relation between the linguistic sign and what it signifies is arbitrary, right? The same idea, but here some other words are used. Linguistic sign. Linguistic sign means the word, either spoken or oral symbol, and what it signifies means the object or the particular meaning that is represented by the symbol is arbitrary. There is no logical relationship, and that is why we call these linguistic signs to be symbolic. And this was first founded by the Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure. Okay, right. He is the one who came up with this notion first. And this is another point I earlier made. Signs are conventional. Right now we say signs are arbitrary and also signs are conventional. Although there is no logical relationship between the linguistic sign and the object, still there is a connection that is decided by the convention. We say there is a tacit agreement among the speakers of a language. Tacit means there is a common agreement among the speakers of a language which is not documented. This agreement is there within the minds of the people. Okay, tacit means that it is not written anywhere. Like apple stands for a particular fruit. There is no resemblance between the sound of the word and the appearance or taste of the fruit. No. That is the arbitrary nature of the word apple. But still we use apple, the word apple, to indicate that fruit. Few go beyond that context, of course, to indicate a particular category of phones as well. That still there is no one-to-one connection. By convention only, we practice it. We do it. Okay. And do you find any document or any report, any book, any article where the particular fruit apple should be called apple, the particular animal should be called dog, the particular structure should be called table? No, nothing like that. All these things are there in the minds of the speakers. Tacit means that. Okay, that is the other property or characteristic of symbolic signs. So these are the two characteristics of the symbolic signs, arbitrary as well as conventional, right? Okay. Yeah, when we further talk about the symbolic signs, this linguistic agreement can change over time. Now, I told you, we call apple, right? We use the word apple to call the apple fruit because of the convention. Because our earlier generations were using it like that, and now we are using it goes via convention, but still this can change over a long time, right? Okay, my arrows have changed, but hope you can understand the example, right? Earlier, cellular or mobile phone. Now, earlier in the past, when the mobile phones came into the use, right? The very beginning, people use the word cellular or mobile phone. And later on, people change that word into just to say cell phone or mobile. That's all. And now what is the word? That is a smartphone. Okay. Do you find any person to be using the cellular or cell phone now? That word to indicate the phone? Never. Right? Okay. So the linguistic agreement can change over time. And there is a linguistic agreement is changed as well. Yeah, here this Oriental has changed to Asian, and crippled individuals, that word has changed to handicapped or disabled, and nowadays differently able. I think you can follow this example, right? Crippled individuals. Earlier, like people who were disabled. The word cripple, it's not a good term anyway, and no one is using that term now, cripple. But later on, it was changed to handicapped or disabled people. But nowadays, we never find even these two words, handicapped or disabled. Now we find differently abled. We use that word, okay? Differently abled. And manic, depressive, bipolar disorder. And I think you clear with these examples, right? Manic depressive has changed into bipolar disorder, and Oriental has changed to Asian. Even these perspectives have undergone changes. You know what? Orientals are the people that are considered mostly to be Asians, Africans originally. Okay, not the Western people, Eastern people, Eastern and all the others except for Western. But later on, the word Oriental started to associate with Asians only. Now we people are Orientals that are right, who are not Western people. All right. Okay, hope you were following what I was discussing. Now you have a work, right? Then and there, of course, you have some works to complete, and you might not find this in the lecture material. Please check the lecture material. You might not find it. Some certain questions I include in the lecture material and certain ones I do not. So please check the lecture note I have sent today. And if it is there already, okay, no problem. You can refer to your lecture note, or else you can refer to my screen. It's there. Identify the following non-linguistic signs as iconic, indexical, or symbolic, or as a combination of any two. Now, these are not linguistic signs, right? They are non-linguistic signs, but still some are iconic, some are indexical, and some are symbolic, and some might belong to more than one category. Right? You can take few minutes and try to find the answers. Okay, right. Few minutes in the sense I'll give you around 5 minutes. Be ready to share your answers after that. Have you finished? I think time is enough. What about the first one? A wave of the hand. Is it symbolic, iconic, or indexical, or combination of any? What do you think? How did you find it? Those who have found the answers can say, right? First one, wave of the hand, right? What do you think?
Indexical, madam.
Indexical. Now, do we wave the hand towards the direction of something, or is there anything happening like that?
Symbolic.
Yeah, of course. This for goodbye, you have given the idea within brackets also. We wave the hand to say goodbye. Okay, then you don't find any asana, right? Don't find any connection between the waving of the hand and what we mean. We mean saying goodbye, no? Nothing, no connection like that. So it's not indexical. It is, yeah, symbolic. First one, symbolic. And the second one, a picture of a cigarette with a red circle around it and a diagonal slash through it. How do you find that?
Indexical.
Any others? Any other different idea?
Iconic plus symbolic, madam.
Exactly. That is rather than indexical, iconic can symbolic also. Yes. Not indexical. Right. And roadmap. How do you find the roadmap? You know about roadmaps. Similar to the earlier one. That is also what?
Iconic and symbolic.
Iconic and symbolic. Yes. Stop sign. You know the stop sign about it. This D. Yeah. Any idea? You skip that.
Symbolic.
Symbolic. Correct. That is symbolic. And the footprints of an animal in the mud. You must have seen this kind of things, no? Right? Footprints of an animal in the mud. What do you think about that? Just visualize the scene. How about? Is it one single or combination of two?
Indexical, madam.
Yes, that is indexical, and also indexical because you can see the direction, right? You can see the direction where the animal has gone, and also by looking carefully at the footprint, you can identify or recognize who the animal is, which means indexical as well as iconic. Okay, right. And jack of lantern. That's a kind of lantern. That is symbolic. Symbolic as well as indexical. I'm telling the answers, right? And thunder. Thundering, you have seen, that's a common sight. Everybody knows about thundering. What do you think about it? Have you ever seen thunder? If you have seen at least in videos or in TV, right? You can see where it's happening. The direction also. Don't you? Which means thunder is indexical. It's indexical sign. And the human figure depicted on the washroom door is a male or female or whatever you can see, right? In the washroom door, who can enter that washroom, male or female, like that. What is that?
Symbol.
Iconic and symbolic.
Iconic and also symbolic. Exactly. Correct. And skull and crossbones. You know, as a sign for poison, you can see this mostly, right? Skull and a crossbones. What do you think about it? Skull is there, which means it is iconic, and also crossbones. Because of crossbones, what do you understand? It is a kind of poison, not good for people. Symbolic. Iconic and symbolic. And the last one, the smell of a skunk. You know where the skunk is? Just find the exact word. You know the skunk. Right? In Sinhala, we have this uruleva. Can find where the skunk is by by the smell. The last one.
Indexical, madam.
Indexical. Yes, correct. Okay. Then I think that you have got some sort of understanding about these three types of signs. Anyway, these are non-linguistic signs which must have definitely help you recognize now the differences among these three categories. All right. Okay. Then I will move on to the next. There's another work also. Right. Have a look at this. Yeah. Again, from the signs. All of the following linguistic signs, as well as being arbitrary, are in part either iconic or lexical. Arbitrary here means symbolic, okay? As well as being symbolic are in part either iconic or indexical. Say which they are, right? Are they, now all of them are symbolic. Apart from that, either iconic or indexical. So you need to choose them, right? Look at the underlying part. Pay attention to the underlying parts. The balloons rose higher and higher into the sky. Right? Other than being symbolic, is it iconic or indexical? That's the simple work. Yeah, I will give you again small time. Not a lengthy time like early, right? Small time. 2-3 minutes will be enough. Just quickly go through this and find out the answers. Okay, right. Higher and higher. What do you think?
Iconic, madam.
Correct. Because we can see the direction, right? Here is your court. Not direction, please. I did a mistake. That's correct. That is iconic, not the direction. You can get it by repetition. Okay, it happen gradually. Second one here. Here is your court. That's it.
Indexical, madam.
Indexical. And fizzy. Do you want a fizzy drink? See,
Iconic.
iconic, correct? This pan is big, but I need the biggest pan that you have. Big and biggest, the two words. Yeah. The positive degree as well as the superlative degree words. The same word in 2 degrees of comparison. Actually, biggest the superlative and big just the positive degree. Still, you can find a kind of repetition. Then what is that? Iconic, right? That's iconic. And next one, the building was huge. Huge is pronounced by stressing it, right? With the weight given to the word. This is not written in phonetics, but still you need to understand how it is pronounced. The building was huge, huge, like that. What about the type?
Iconic.
Iconic, correct. He sneered and snickered. F. Sneered,
Iconic, madam.
iconic, correct. To the left is a picture of Michelangelo. Left,
Indexical.
indexical. The last one, cock-a-doodle-doo. We were awakened by the cock-a-doodle-doo of the rooster.
Iconic, madam.
Yeah, because that is onomatopoeic. Correct. All right. Hope the others also have found the answers and they also have understood, because I can know whether you have understood this thing only from your responses. Okay, if you don't respond, I don't know whether you have got this or not anyway, right? So thanks for responding. And these are the answers. Right, now we have another topic to discuss. Let's see the... Okay, we have few minutes. So let's start the discussion, and the next day I will continue from where I would stop today. Right, now this is about the rule governed nature of language. Rule governed nature. Any language is governed by the rules. We say, now we have another property, main property of any language, as language is systematic. Okay, when we list out the characteristics or properties of language, at the top level, we get one of the main properties to be systematic nature of language. Why do we say language is systematic? Systematic because we consider language to be operating in a particular way, right? In a particular systematic mechanism. For language to be systematic, there has to be a set of rules. You know, without having rules, we can't operate anything in a systematic way. No? For anything to be systematic, there should be, or it should be operated with a set of rules. If no rules, no systematic nature. Okay, everything will go astray. So then here we are going to look at that aspect of language. Any language is systematic because language is governed by the rules, controlled by the rules. Right. Okay, now we'll look at these ideas. Language signs occur in a system. The very point I just made, right? We say language signs, they usually occur in a system, and system. In Sinhala, we have the word paddhatiya, right? What do you mean by system then? Exactly. That's a collection of smaller units that function in connection to one another. there are several different units, right? Subunits are there, and these subunits individually function on their own, and at the same time, they function in connection to one another as well. And the collection of these units is what we call system. So we can apply this to language also. Because when we look at a language, right, any language, within that we have these subsystems or subunits, like sounds would form one main system, sound system. And there is this word system where we talk about formation of words. And again, we have a sentence system. Sentence system, we don't usually use the word like that, right? But we use the technical terms like syntax, which we will discuss. In that system, what do we see? There we talk about how sentences are created, grammatically correct, meaningful sentences are formed, how that happens. It happens within a particular system, right? And also, all these things have meaning. So meaning itself forms another different system. So these are the subsystems or subunits that we can see in any language. So sound system can function on its own, and word system can function on its own. Similarly, sentence and meaning systems. But the most interesting point is that although these systems function on their own, still they are interconnected. Right? Word system cannot function without the support of the sound system, and sentence system cannot function without the connection to word system. Right? And none of these systems will function properly without semantics, so without the meanings. Like that, everything is interconnected. So that is why we say language is a system. All right? These smaller units are organized on certain principles, which means rules. All these systems have rules, right? Within sound systems, there is a set of rules which we technically called phonological rules. And within the word system, we have morphological rules. And within the sentence system, we have syntactic rules. So in common, everybody knows this word, grammar. Okay, we usually use the word grammatical rules or grammar rules. They are syntactic rules. And even we have in meaning system, semantic rules. So every system, every subsystem contains set of rules of its own. So we say then language runs on rules. Okay, the language is rule governed. Right. Then we meet these words, grammatical competence. Grammatical competence versus performance. What do you think about that? Because wherever we talk about rule of language, we have to deal with the word grammar as well. Rule means actually what? Grammar. So these two words are interconnected. So when we say language is rule governed, definitely we talk about the grammar of that language. Right? When we talk about grammar, there are some concepts like grammatical competence. There is a concept called grammatical competence, and opposite of that term we can find in the word performance. Okay, what do you mean by grammatical competence then? If I ask it like this, are you competent in grammar? Either in your mother tongue or second language, are you competent in grammar? What do you understand? I'm asking from you whether you have the knowledge of grammar. Competence or grammatical competence means underlying system of a language, which is a part of the internalized grammar of a speaker. Right now, we just think about the English language, which you and I know here. Okay. Do we have the grammatical competence of the English language? Yes, because we know the grammar rules. Okay, we know most of the grammar rules of the English language, and that is why we can use English in speaking or writing or reading or listening. Competence means that knowing the the set of rules, which is internalized. Sometimes we don't even know, right? If I ask from you, okay, how many grammar rules do you know? And can you please name them? Do you think you can ever do it? Never, right? All of a sudden, you can't just list out the grammar rules you know, but you know them. They are internalized. They are within you. All right? So competence is that. But performance is something different, right? Performance means how we produce language. Now, don't you think that when we speak, at however much we know the grammar rules, we make sometimes mistakes without our awareness, right? Sometimes we don't know that we make mistakes or errors. That is performance. So there is a gap between competence and performance. You do not perform. You means anybody does not perform as he or she knows the knowledge, which means competence and performance do not tally. Here you have the idea. Grammatical competence is complete and perfect, but performance may be incomplete and imperfect. Okay, so by listening to somebody who is speaking, or sometimes by reading any sort of piece of work, okay, we can't come to a 100% conclusion or judgment regarding the competence of that person. I hope you are clear with that point, right? Whenever we talk about the rule-governed nature of language, we need to talk about this competence-performance difference, right? Competence is how the rules are internalized within the mind, and performance is how you produce language with the rules, using the rules. That's the difference between these two concepts. Okay, right. Well, we are going to continue with that, but I don't think now I have exceeded time as well. Right, never mind. The next day I will continue the discussion from this point with these examples, and we will have some more topics to talk about this. Okay, right. So there are, actually the note continues. I told you the note I have sent today is not limited to today's session only. It will, you can use that note for many more sessions to come. Okay, right. All right, then as the time is also over, do you have any question? Anyway, before I wind up the discussion, if you have any question, just let me know. I will take time from the next session, at the very beginning of the next session, to answer to these or to cater to these things. Do you want me to explain anything else again, or you just tell me just any idea regarding how you deal with this thing? Not clear, or any feedback? According to your level or expectation, I can adjust. That's why I'm asking.
We are clear, madam.
Right. Okay. Well, then I don't know what the others are thinking, but I don't get any response. Well, I will wind up today's session. Okay. We'll meet in the next day, probably after a week's time. Okay. So good night, all of you.
Good night,
Good
madam.
night, madam.